So before we begin, I just wanted to introduce my brother, Minister Randy. How you doing?
Man, again, man, I'm blessed and highly favored, honored to be here and to have this conversation. It's a wonderful day.
Oh,
Good, I'm
absolutely.
good. It's all good.
Yes, welcome to the show, Minister. Welcome to Turn. I got the Minister double down.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a good thing. That's a good thing. Talk to us.
So I just wanted to kind of begin from the beginning, uh, and just get your take, brother Minister. First, let's talk about what happened last week here.
Yeah, well,
that.
Going back to that whole idea of know your smoke, one of the things that I respect and honor about brothers like you and Brother Durrell, that y'all are fighters, right? So the brothers in the street gang banging and hustling, they warriors, but they fighting the wrong fight.
Right.
And so know your smoke is about educating them, because we talk about these unjust laws and these systems. The solution is us redirecting the self-destructive energy that we have for each other, right? When we got our young warriors and what's on their mind, think about how much energy and effort young brothers are putting on, clocking someone's schedule. You know what I'm saying? Laying in the cut, waiting for them, waiting for an opportunity to go and kill someone. That you're gonna sit out there and clock their work schedule or whatever it is. You're gonna try to brothers are doing research. They find out where your baby mama live. They're even going to the point where they setting brothers up with females. They know what kind of woman you like to send someone. Like, we spend so much time and energy, right, fighting each other and trying to get it at each other. And what we're trying to say, and Brother Durrell, is we want to bring to the young brothers in the street the same mentality that you and Durrell and others had in jail, where you realize, no, we got to fight the system. We got to fight to change these laws, and that's part of it. The other part of it is recognizing that in unity we can come together and empower ourselves.
Right. Facts. And that's where I was getting to.
Yes.
Because part of the discussion is that for years you had other folks who were getting what we're talking about is two things. Education, again, has to come through the messengers of those who live that lifestyle, seen that lifestyle, and then can come back and say, "Oh, look, man, this is what it really is."
Low
right?
volume.
This is what it really is. Now, I mean, everyone at the end of the day, you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to pick your option, whether you need to go ahead and hit your head a couple of times before you get it, or do you now say, "Look, man, what do these brothers got to gain by telling me this?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The reality of it is the only thing we got to gain is our unity.
That's it.
That's
well,
it.
no, we got more to.
So go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, man. I want to hear from you because we
go ahead,
we'll keep talking, bro.
No, I'm just trying to, as M say, interject, man, because I want to give it some weight, right? But I wanted to get tangible with this. My motto, man, besides making a way out of no way, is the one that tells you clearly. Say what we're gonna say. It's just with the minister. It's with Malcolm. Everybody says, right? It's basically, man, let's get to it without the national anthem behind it. This is a generation of dudes, right? That everything for them is happening now. You understand? See, you're not really, a lot of our people that are older, man, elders in the community that are fighting for them. If we were to take them and sit them down, I think that's necessary. And to sit them down and say, listen, you're going to be here 2 hours, you're going to listen to some rap, you're going to watch some videos. Because if you don't know what they're listening to and what they're talking about, you can't communicate with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That world is fast that's going on for them right now. You understand? Real quick. And because of that, we have to give them things that are sustainable in the instant. They heard, they know. I mean, come on, man. Wasn't it the minister that Crips and Bloods and Million Man Marches and different things that went on, right? Started from that on down. So they understand this idea, what we need to do, right? This is an immaculate job right here, Mac. But they understand that. But now, what do we do? How do we identify them? Two things I want to identify. So here's what I'm going to give you. I want them to just think on this. So I'm going to give you the prison version of it, right? And can you mute, right? I'm going to give you the prison version of it. And that prison version is, I know a lot of good dudes, your homeboys, people you've been with, people you be around, and people that, was your hierarchy, and people that you roll with that would bust and do whatever needed to be done to make it. I know some dudes, man, that came in there with 10 years in prison. 10 years. So let's just say 20 years ago. And they were there 10 years. Some dude in the joint was like, man, F them dudes over there, blah, 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 just came in. He ain't nobody, man. We still getting it in here. Then I seen the same hype man go home. And that dude that had 10 years, I know a couple of them right now, they picked up them assaults inside, stabbings inside, and now them dudes is in here for 30, 40 years, right? That's how that game go. And that's the same game out here. The only thing that's missing from this game is to stop, look, and say, wait a minute, how does this picture look? This is my part two. How does this picture look? I'm going to create a video and a table, and somebody's going to imitate me eating. Meaning somebody's going to say, this is how the minister and Mac eats. And it's going to be two other individuals. And Mac and the minister are never going to eat. They're just going to watch videos of somebody telling the rest of the world how they would eat. I say that to say there's a lot of programs, a lot of things, a lot of people get paid to help them. Why aren't they getting paid to help themselves? Why aren't we getting those lots? I talked to the mayor about that. I said to Michelle Wu, I'm saying it on here again. Why aren't we getting those empty lots next to them and matching up with the city and saying, give them something to own? Let them compete on product. Let them compete on their own real estate. Give them something to compete for. You're not going to stop them from doing that because that's the culture, right? But give them a platform, and that's what we're trying to do here, Bump. That's what I want to say, that they got a platform here for their music so we can talk about that change and bang out on what we need to do.
Yes, sir.
Most definitely. And that's part of the other half of the discussion about where we go from here, right? I mean, what you said is definitely kind of like summarize what we've been saying the entire discussion. But I think, also, like you said, in the spirit of competition, because that's not going to change, it's how do we redirect it, right? But I tell you that if brothers don't even see what is possible, that, to them, in their small way of thinking, it's inconceivable. And that's part of what we have to break. Because, see, when it comes to anything wrong, nothing is impossible. When it comes to everything that's right, then it's inconceivable and it's undoable. And that's part of the thing that we have to break in everyone's mind, just like the spirit of our unity. Oh, we can never come together. We can, this is something that, man, conscious and unconscious people say, but it's all a lie, right? All of it's a lie. If we decide to come together today, we can change what's happening in Massachusetts throughout. I ain't just talking about Boston. I'm talking about everywhere that there's a hood. And if we followed and made this model so that everyone got online, do you know what type of power structure we would have?
Yeah.
Can you even imagine that? And so we've been taught not to imagine what unity and what real ownership really looks like. We've been taught everything other than that, aside from that, though, right? My point is, in celebrating this model and moving the conversation forward, this is what we should do. We should be, man, holding this up like we're doing and saying, look, man, and challenging every other hood. Look, man, when are you, if there's OGs that are truly OGs that are conscious, that's saying that they understand what's really going on, we need to be having these conversations with our peoples, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what, to me, what makes you an OG, if that's real, right? And then kind of, man, put brothers in a situation, man, where they really start understanding that they are not at war with each other. That really what we're all at war is what's happening to us collectively, right? That turns into individuals.
To tie to that with the minister, because you and the minister got your work cut out, but I got a feeling that the minister gonna be hitting man terror because he's right there on scene. He was on the albums, the Obama thing, and all that, right? And we had artists all over. I was over here, man. Me and the minister got this, telepathy thing going, man. When it comes to people, right? Top leaders, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
I hear him right now saying, "Well, damn, me and you about to do? We about to do a 10,000 strong mixtape." Right, and on a little record here, man. We want to hear from the hood, and we want them to just tell us our plight. Never mind, just tell us our plight, and we're gonna do that one like we did with Freedom Never Dies. But we're gonna send it to the legislators.
Right.
Tell us what's going on. The legislature, everybody out there, make a track about your pain. Tell us what's going on for the legislators. We'll make it a legislative track and get all of it in the state house and say, sit down and listen to this album. We'll play it to them. Minister, we go down there. Now that's something to ask for. They're gonna tell you how they feel. They're gonna tell you what they're going through, and you're gonna listen. And we get them on that track, and you and him, and we get that out, man. Then the minister said something about he wants to do something every month. I don't know where the minister comes up with this stuff, but every month he wants to give away $1,000 to somebody in our community that gives us a hope track. That's $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year, and somebody should be matching that. But that's a wise idea, minister. $1,000 a month to those that give us, that save us in the hood music, and we're gonna pick one. That's dope, and y'all really on it now.
Most definitely, and I'm anxious to kind of see how the hood responds to that, right?
Yeah, let me comment on like a few things, man. Beautiful, and you right on point, brother D. As far as what the brothers get out of it, I think we want to change the way they look at things and change their energy, right? Change the direction, not only of who they beefing with, but also how we see what we're doing. And we had a lovely conversation. Like, one of the things I always challenge the brothers. Like, brothers been beefing since I was in the streets over 30 years ago, right? Same hoods, right? Brothers done got homies that done did life bids, homies that got murdered behind the street beef. You done got homies that's in wheelchairs, that's paralyzed, right? All behind this hood beef. But none of these hoods, right? None of these crews own not one property on the block that they claiming, that they banging for. And so it's like, we have to encourage the brothers. Look, if we could stop killing each other for a minute, then we can take our money and let's invest in the hood. Gangsters, and I told the brothers this, gangsters is not new. We didn't invent, we this young generation of black folks, we didn't invent being gangster. We're imitating, right, the Italian gangsters. We're imitating the Irish gangsters. every ethnic group that came to this country started off gangsters. There was Jewish gangsters. There was Italian gangsters, Irish gangsters. But all of the gangsters, being a gangster and doing the criminal activity was a means to an end. Their whole objective was to legitimize, right? Was to gain economic power, then to gain political power. And if you notice, they didn't want their children to end up being gangster, right?
So enforcement of conduct to do it. With an enforcement of a conduct that you got to do it by.
That's right.
There was some code of ethic.
There was a code of ethic, and this is what we got to educate the hood. Like, listen, if you feel stuck in the game and you thugging and bugging, you know, listen, we're not gonna condone it, but we understand where you're at. You know what I'm saying? But at least understand that the goal should be to get out the game. Right. And so that the next generation doesn't have to be there. And so if we just redirect our energy and start to take the monies that we're making and that we're generating, we pull our resources and just buy a business, invest in the next generation of young people. Like I was telling the brothers last week, you know, imagine if every hood, right, took a shorty from their block and told them, listen. Because you know what happens in the hood is you got a young man's father's probably in jail, mom is probably strung out, and he's in the hood messed up, right? And so he gravitates to the gang because the gang look out for him. You know, he's gonna put some money in his pocket. He could be a lookout. You know, he could stop moving bumps or whatever. He start getting money, and what usually happens is the older cats turn the younger cats out who are vulnerable, who need help. But what happens is we criminalizing our young people. Right. And so I'm saying to the hood, man, we got to stop doing that. Take these young people and develop them. Take one of these young brothers that may be in that same situation, put them up under your wing, let them know, listen, we got you. We're going to look out for you. We're going to protect you. You're down with us, but we don't want you involved in no criminal activity. Why? Because when you become 18, you can get a license to carry a firearm legally. Now, let me say this disclaimer, you know, in the Nation of Islam, we don't carry guns and, you know, it's against our religious beliefs to carry and to hold guns as members of the Nation of Islam. But I'm saying brothers are going to jail for carrying guns when having guns is not a crime in and of itself. The only reason why you're going to jail is because you don't have a license. And the reason why you don't have a license is because you got turned out. At 12, 13, you're going in and out of DYS. You're going in and out of South Bay. Now you're a criminal. Now you've criminalized. So you can't even enjoy the rights that you're supposed to have as a citizen, right? And exercise your Second Amendment right to bear arms. So we're catching cases for having guns because we didn't have sense enough to guide our young people and let them know, listen, don't jump off the porch with crime. We got you. You don't need to do that because we're going to need security, right? As we start to buy the hood, invest in businesses in the hood, we're going to need some security. You can be our armed security.
Well, let's just be truthful, man. Most of the folks that are in the game are not buying the hood. I mean, and they're not doing it for the motivations of, you know, the collectiveness, but on an individual basis. I think that, and I don't want to be inconsistent with the message only to this degree that, look, the reality of it is that, you know, wherever you find yourself in that space, we have to start looking for a way out of that.
That's right.
You know, and how we do it is really, we have to confront the truth of it all, right? The truth of it all is what it is. But I'm more interested in kind of like what Darrell was saying, you know, like we have to kind of come together and sponsor our own initiatives.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
You know, like just like what he just said about the whole, let's get this whole thing popping with the, you know, who does put the best music out in the hood. You know, let's have a competition about that, right? Let's start talking about ways that we can turn that into something. You know, let's start talking about ways of how we connect with other folks, man, or just how do we now go to this city hall and ask them for what's rightfully ours? But also, how do we pull our own resources together and start with the folks that are already in the community and start building our own stuff? Because that's what has to be taught to these youngins. right? And so,
but they gotta feel it, right? They gotta feel it. You know what I mean? Like what we know in that song is different from something they can feel, right? They gotta feel it. I want to interject this, right? So here's an idea of feeling. I want them to feel it, because we've seen it. You have watched me experience it, you watch others experience it, right? So I'm in the prison system. Now, whether we're in the prison system or the street, we find somebody you don't like. Most little torches and flames of this, ingenuous behavior towards people, man, or them towards you starts off with two people that might see each other. Whatever it is, you just don't like something, right? And then that dislike just continues to grow. When you're in prison, that's going to happen 1 million times because you're in there with thousands of people, generations of people. And so that's going to happen. But the question becomes, how come they can maintain it in the prison? How come they can maintain it? If you look right now and you pop up, let's look at prisons in Massachusetts, man. Look at some of the federal systems, right? And say, what was the murder rate today? Somebody out here killed 30 people in 1 hour. You know what I mean? Over there, what was the murder rate? So why is it containable in the joint? Then I started looking at it saying, you know what? When I lost my son, my brother, I took a lot of losses in here due to violence, right? Chicago, Boston, just took a lot. And with that, what I realized was, damn, I can't go say bye to them. I couldn't go to their funerals. I couldn't do a damn thing about it. And in fact, I'm not there. All of those things hit everybody behind that wall, right? That's the situation that we in. It hits every one of us behind that wall that we're not a part of it. Then I figured out, like, you know who I don't like? I really can't not like. Oh, I'm angry, but I can't not like the dude that, you say, man, that dude shot my son, or this dude here shot my brother, or that dude did this to this one. And I go, what was they doing? There's so many circumstances. Then I go, they come from the same background of not knowing.
Right.
You know who I don't like? This dude here, man, that laid this blueprint that got me in this prison that's working us all, right?
Mhm.
And he gets us in. He can't work with us on the street. We can't come together. But he creates his little DDUs and all these little units, lock you up for a year. Dudes come out and all of a sudden they better. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They want to be out. We want to be out to get to the weight room and play basketball.
Mhm.
Now we in the world, we should be wanting to get to everything, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is I want them to know how it feels. Like, yo, yeah, you could easily end up in that situation. But when you having Christmas right now, your homeboy's talking Christmas, you playing the music over the phone.
Mhm.
So he's recording his music that he could have made in life and probably been the best over a phone, and you're putting it out. That's really what's going on. They blind us to that, right?
Mhm.
So what you shouldn't like more than anything is that neighborhood around you, because if you live in Massachusetts, most prisons, they're in rural areas, but you're driving around the same place you just spent your whole life. Your daddy spent his life, your mama, somebody in your family. The house of doom is right there, Walpole, Norfolk. You're driving through it now in your Maseratis, whatever you're doing. You're going through the same area that took your life. And I never saw anybody out here with a shirt on saying F the DOC. It's almost like a fear. You ain't mad enough at them. I ain't never saw nobody on their Facebook and go in for an hour like, yo, Officer James, this is what he did to a brother. So we're going to break his whole life down. We don't do that. So you better catch yourself on what you like, because not liking each other is the easy way for them to grab everybody and say, here goes something you really don't dislike. And that's where we at. Something we really dislike.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to understanding the game inside the game, right? That they got us all entrapped in. But like I said, I like to see the promotion, man. I want to see something where, like we saying, look, man, let's put that out there. Whatever hood right now today comes up with the most catchiest lyrics, man, about what's happening. It's just like a hood report.
Mm-hmm.
Do a hood report.
You talk right back on it. That's where we start. That's what was
right.
in the magazine,
Right.
So we're gonna do it.
Right.
But what I want to say is not catchy. I need to cut all that, right? These rules, right? Nothing. It's not about catchy, because catchy would make it somebody would have a dope beat. That's catchy, right? A whole bunch of things. We're saying, can you give us the message of the street and something we can feel and report to us, just like we're saying.
You're not saying catchy. I'm saying catchy. I'm saying catchy
Yeah.
for a reason, because I want them to make it whatever they feel is hip, however they feel they can be honest about it. Say your truth.
Well, that's the point, right?
Rap your truth. And you can use whatever beat, whatever it is that you think you need to do to convey it, right? And make it the hood report. In fact, that's what we should call it, the hood report all the way around. And
that's what we gonna call it. That's what we called it from the beginning. We had that.
Okay, let's do that. Then let's do that. Let's put it out there for all the hood and let them do that, and we'll see And at the end of it, we'll not just do what Brother Dime just said. I mean, Brother Dow just said is, play it from before the legislators and let them hear it in the city hall and all the people in the government. But let's say, man, let's put something at the end of that, of what do they win at the end of that to make it in the spirit of competition? What do you say to that?
See, in the spirit of competition, I'm thinking, like I said, with the minister, this would be a project you work on, right? I'm saying that the minister, gets the man terror, we work that out. And I say that the minister say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set aside $5,000 on this project, right? And we're going to go for the best of the best. And we're going to put that out on, 10,000 strong mixtape. We're going to work all that up there. We live. So, I'm sure they thinking too, like, well, damn, I would do it this way. So we're going to lay out how we're going to do it and just offer that opportunity. But I think that's what we should do. You know what I mean? We should just take that, put it there, put it in the pot, and then just go for that month. Every month, that's 6,000. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every month for 6 months. What you saying, Minister? You know what I mean? $1,000 a month. Give us an injection. It's just like going to CVS. CVS is serving drugs on every block worldwide.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We serving something and saying, yo, you might not take the COVID shot, but take this one right here, and there's a reward in it because we need to give you that, and we're gonna go to these other people and ask them to start matching. If I can do it, they can do it.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's a plan, man. So those that are listening, tap in. Like, we have to change the culture, and we know how influential the lyrics are, the rappers are. So we calling on those rappers that are in this city, right? To show up, you know what I mean? And let's put something down, and let's change this culture. Let's get this thing popping, yeah, we'll get together
and credits to the wise guys, man. You guys gotta
salute,
man. You know what I mean? All this stuff been done.
Salute.
The community has done this, man. Dudes that were in there in the trenches got
Facts.
together, man. The wise guys, all this stuff. Don't y'all forget. But we're not gonna talk about where we've been. We'll bring the wise guys, everybody. Go get them all, Minister. Yo, let's put it in song. You dig what I'm saying? How we feel. Let's just not be disrespectful towards each other. Let's just bang it out like this is what it's been. This is what it's been about. This is what Boston looked like. And then we go to Chicago. You see what I'm saying? We just keep going down the line. Y'all tell us what it is. This is the Hood Report. Y'all start telling us what it is, and we're gonna start putting it out. And this is for the legislature. Then we're gonna call them out for not listening. You understand that? Mm-hmm. How they gonna get money for us and then tell everybody, I don't know that song. No, this is that Hood you talking about getting money for to stop the violence. I'm talking back to you.
Right.
You gotta have that pumping in your car, Senator.
Right. Absolutely.
We're gonna school them. That's what we talking about.
Absolutely. I like that. I definitely like that, man. Definitely.
And it's part of a larger movement, right? Because again, once we start doing that, it's part of a larger movement where we could stop beefing with each other and we could start investing in each other. You know what I mean? And we could start like changing it's not, us killing us is goofy, man. That's crazy. Matter of fact, let's speak on this. Then wasn't there just a rapper? And D, you probably more up on this than me, man, because I'm a little bit, I tapped out of certain things, but the young brother that was associated with Young Thug, right? I think Gunna. Then that whole scenario.
I be telling him all the time, man, to jump on his neck, right? And pay attention, man, to all what's supposed to be the top-notch gangsters while we was in prison, right? And they all on here saying things we would never say to each other, right? And exactly. And now look at Gunna. When it goes down, one of the biggest gang they consider, man, in the country, right? And when it goes down, I'm out of here. That's
what I'm saying. So the game is rigged. The game is foul. There's no honor among thieves, right? You know what I'm saying? We're looking at dudes, man, that's promoting this culture, but when they get pinched, and you're gonna get pinched because it's rigged. Mm-hmm. Especially when you promoting this drill rap and you bragging about crimes that you committed, it's inevitable that you're gonna get a case that ain't gonna come after the whole crew with a RICO, and then it's inevitable that 9 out of 10 of them dudes is gonna start talking, right?
And know what eats us up, Minister? You know what eats everybody up? And we just don't be honest with ourselves, with the real, and dudes just get madder and madder because they're still in the community, so they take it out on what's around. But yeah, it's almost like when dudes are like, man, damn, look at this sucker. It ain't because really he's a sucker. It's because this dude got up out of there and made it off of life that might not be as real as yours when you really got shot at and did all that. And you didn't know how to capitalize on that. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody's rich off of their pain.
Yeah.
You know, all those songs, man, you hear me on here, man, when I play stuff to Jada, anybody, I talk to any of these artists, man, and I've never mean an offense, but I do say to each one of them, man, y'all did a lot of yelling. I'll shout out to my homie upstate, up north, and then I come out here and be like, yo, y'all want to make some more videos, man, like Nipsey did, you know what I mean? Those that got with me and made videos, shout back the joint. Man, these dudes, I'm going to do it later. Let me book it. You got to book it. You just use us to make that whole album. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So that's what we got to take back, man. We got to take that back. We got to authenticate the authentication by being like, hold up, man. What Jay-Z going to jump out and challenge one of you rappers on some real pain? Because you was in the joint 25 years? Yeah, I wasn't there. That's the only reason you in that spot. We, just like Jada said himself, we know that we saw it as a brother upstate better than Jordan that didn't get that break.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so imagine all, what Tupac say, the penitentiary is filled with promise makers.
That's right.
Come on, man. So we ain't supposed to be that. It don't matter. And here's another thing, Minister. I'm really going to close it for me on this, but listen. If we all did a lot of time together, you young dudes, man, I'm going to say this as an old dude. I don't care about being a G or none of that stuff. I'm going to say this as a man. Believe me, when somebody else is in your ear like this dude here, man, boom, 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 that dude right there, they hating on each other. They both older men in the streets. You should be looking at them saying, how long you knew that dude? As soon as that dude tell you I was in a joint with him for like 25, 30 years, they didn't have no beef. If you ain't solved the damn beef and you saw each other 25, 30 years in the joint, you wasn't trying to beef. You was just trying to get some artillery to do your job or somebody else to do it. Put that on record. Them young boys need to know that, man. They're not tokens of somebody saying, go get him. You know what I mean? If you can go get him, then you're the man. You dig what I'm saying? If you can go get the money, then if we say we're going to get behind you, then hold us to that. You see what I'm saying? Look at that and say, okay, this is one of the promises, man. Let's see that they keep it. Nobody ain't stupid. Nobody's out here, man, to play with their lives. That's what they need to know from us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody's bringing no problems to themselves. Nobody's saying, let me go over here with these gangs and introduce myself and get caught up in some shit. You know what I mean? Nah, nobody's doing that.
Right.
Somebody's saying, man, I suffered, I lost mine. We see what it is. And however what it takes to unify y'all, that's the last calling. Because the money, none of the other shit ain't going to mean that, man. Spiritual account. We damn near bankrupt spiritually. You feel me?
Oh, it ain't damn near. We almost we like you said, right out there on the cusp, for real, for some of us, but not most of us. And I want us to be real careful when we start talking like that, right? Because we're really talking about just brothers in the hood now. You know, there is an arising of other men, folks, man, that are definitely aware. They're in the fight. They're pushing. You know, but this is something that we can't achieve alone, right? This is why our warriors got to come in off the streets, you know what I'm saying, and really, man, own their positions and really start reclaiming what's rightfully theirs to reclaim. Seriously, you know what I mean? Because then we have everything that we need. We have all the pieces together, you know what I mean? But in the spirit of that, in talking about investment and investing, I want to present the minister with a check from Darrell Jones. Darrell Jones.
I don't know that guy.
Okay.
To the torchlight.
Okay.
And
Yes,
to
sir.
it, how much is it, brother minister?
So y'all know last week we was on Bump That Radio, and my man Darrell Jones, man, he pledged that he was going to support the efforts of the 10,000 fearless peacemakers who are out in the streets every week promoting peace. We have a Stop the Beef hotline, and so he said he was going to support our work, and he made good on his promise as always. He's a man of his word. His word is bond. And so today, as you just seen live, you know, I was just presented this check for the 10,000 fearless peacemakers from our brother Darrell Jones, which is going to go toward outfitting the soldiers. As we know, the weather's inclement, so we're going to be getting new jackets and hoodies and hats and gloves so that the men that are out there are promoting peace can do it. So, brother D, man, thank you so much for that contribution, because we've been doing this work and really not getting no support, you know, and that's a problem. And I've been hollering that, because we have a volunteer army of black men that's going out every week to promote peace, to offer conflict mediation. Again, we had a major successful conflict mediation just last week. You know, and when we first started, I wasn't sure if we wanted to go all the way in, but but you did. You know, the brothers from the academies, the light side, the dark side, anybody from the city know that there's been beefs.
Shout out to them brothers.
There's been beefs going on for years. Shout out, as my man Darrell saying, shout out to those brothers. Salute to those kings that they were able to come together and be in the same space, in the same room, because we had the space, and we had individuals that they felt they can trust to have that conversation. So Darrell, that's what you're sponsoring, man. You sponsoring the 10,000 feelers. Now this is a $2,000 check from Darrell Jones. This is one person. And
we don't even need no numbers, man. Minister, you know, we're not doing. I want to stay on.
Well, I'm gonna say this though. Let me say this. This is one brother. This is one brother that has done more than the whole city. You know, this is a brother who did over 30 years in prison, wrongfully convicted, right? Been away, has come home. He's a citizen now, and this is one individual. He don't represent a company. He don't represent. Maybe bump that radio, you know what I'm saying? But one man, so salute to you, my brother. God bless. I appreciate it. And this is going to help us to continue to do this work moving forward.
Well, I want to do one better. I mean, I think that everyone watching live should be matching and donating. You know, I think that should be the spirit of supporting those entities, even if you don't have the ability to come out and support and watch the streets, then support the brothers that do. Because we have to make sure that we are responsible for one another, no one else. You know what I mean, bro?
And you know, M, there's a lot of people in this world, right? This is real life, man. This is what I'm watching, right? There's a lot of people in this world, man. You know, my grandmother, you know, and I'm doing that right there. So I told the minister, and I want you to know, that's the only way I'm doing things. You know what I mean? And that's in behalf of my grandmother and my dad, the man that I call my dad. You know what I mean? So the Lewis Barry Foundation, right? You know, that's what I'm setting up, because that's all it's about, man. Whether they come from suffering, whatever you're gonna get from, right? In the end, you're gonna learn. People are gonna learn the way they don't want to learn. But in the end, it really comes down to that line where it's Denzel Washington sitting on the porch, and he had that friend Mouse, and he's like, "That's all you got is your friends, right?" And these are the things that concern me. I know where we are, and there are many people in this world that plotted, planned. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said, my grandma, my mama, everybody prepared. They prepared for death. And then when you're gone, all that investment goes into the funeral, the casket. You know what I mean? The funeral home. Like the money's always going back, and they work their whole lives. This is the process of our life. So I'm going, when do we get to live it? When do we have a happy story to tell, right? And we should have that once a month. When does the hood have a happy day? You know, go down there and tell that mayor, you know what, we always reporting on this. We require every news once a month to have a happy day. Don't tell us shit, but the happy shit that we do for each other. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
come and meet the people you're talking about. Don't be telling them they're killers. You don't even know them. You know what I mean? The country's a killer, man. Anytime they can lead them down the path we on, and we can put in place the people that's in place, and they can tell the lies right in our face, and then they can steal our language. I don't know if you guys are watching or not, but I watch MSNBC. I watch them all, right?
Yeah.
And they got the guy Ari. He got all the rappers, you know, on his show now. Imagine this, right? He gets them all. You wouldn't even know that you was on his news show, because he says every slogan they say. Well, not Mitch McConnell, but go on there and look. The Republican dude, the old dude too, man, got on 2 nights ago and said, I'm going to get the recording. The dude got on, and you know what he said? He said, as the young dude said, they're using our language. He's in the House Congress shit, and he said, as the young would say, game, Pete, game. That's the only reason he would say that is because he understands, like, yo, they peeping our game, and that's how they kicking it at us. He would never have said that. No white man in this country would have ever used those words that come from the 60s slavery pulling shit and be in the Republican Party on a big platform and be like they said, game, Pete, game. And use our language. They are using our language, and using our language means that, like a Kanye. Listen, Dave Chappelle, just the other night, he brought Elon Musk on as a surprise to his show to surprise people, right? The richest man in the world, he announced them as, right? And the people, man, was like, boo, it took him a minute to even get the show going. Like, you're taking this dude here that's making this platform, right? And you're bringing them, our people, man, are just saying, we're going to stay with the loot. We're going to stay with the loot right now. Believe me, they're trying to hold on to the loot. If somebody tell me they lost billions, and we never got none of it, and I'm a supporter of that, I don't know when the people out here going to look and be like, man, you lost the money I invested in you by buying your music? You understand what I'm saying? I could have put that somewhere else.
Mm.
That means better choice of artist. So we're trying to say here's a better chance for you to be a better choice of artist. Because I don't see why white, black, Jew, Christian, you know what I mean, Islam, I don't see why anybody wouldn't buy this. We were talking about music for the world. We ain't talking about for the neighborhood. Let's get it out the neighborhood.
Right.
Show them what Boston do. Show them what Chicago do. Show them what we do. Philly, what we do. What we going through. They want to use our language and then make them play that track in the White House. Let's see if we can get one of those. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, bro. Well, listen, we're going to start to bring this to a conclusion, man. And as always, it's been a wonderful, wonderful segment, man, here with my brother Minister Randy and brother Darrell on Bump That Radio.
Absolutely.
And brother, just so that folks know where to reach you, how to contact you if they're interested in this work or supporting this work.
Yeah, so first of all, Stop the Beef hotline, 833-4-NO-SMOKE. You know, if you need us, man, conflict doesn't have to end, you know, with someone being shot, murdered, or killed. Reach out to us. We offer conflict mediation. We're a neutral third party, right? You know, we're not associated or affiliated with the police. You know, this is Black men stepping up and taking our responsibility to change our community and to make our community safe and decent places to live. If you need us, our number, our hotline is 833-4-NO-SMOKE. You can look us up, Boston Peacemakers, on Facebook and Instagram. And so, yeah, if you need to reach out to reach out to me, hit me at those numbers, hit me on Facebook, hit me on Instagram, and let's connect. But Brother Darrell just raised the bar, and so if brother could make a contribution and support the 10,000 fearless peacemakers, we're looking to see who can match that energy so that we can support this movement of getting more Black men to be out there to encourage our young people and others to be peaceful and change the culture of violence in our community.
And I just want to say to everybody in the hood, listen, man, we all we got at the end of the day, right?
We all we got.
And so what we got to do is we got to stop, man, educating, and we got to stop building, and we got to stop bringing our youngins along, and man, squashing the bullshit. Those of us that have the ability to do it, we need to be doing that, supporting that, right? And I say this because, man, many of us we done lived our lives behind the wall, fighting for stuff that really, that winded us behind the wall over stuff that wasn't or never was real at all. And this is
I wanted to say shout out to Ricky McGee, Fuquan, man. Know you smoke, man. Know you smoke.
Right.
Absolutely.
So man, we got to know our smoke, and our smoke is not with one another.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the faster we come to that conclusion, man, there's nothing we can't do after that. With that,
and just look at it this way, man. I know it's gonna come off, man. Like, don't ask nobody. There's a song I played for Emotions. It said, "Don't ask my neighbor," right? Don't ask nobody about us, man. Because we could somebody asks us about somebody else. Just watch what we do and watch what we do with you and how you handle us and how we handle you, right? Because what'll really come out is like, these old dudes, man. How many know them in the hood? They've been gone a long time. That's the principal point, man. It's like Moses going to get the hard way, going to get the word and being like, damn, man, God laid me over here for like 30-something years, right? For nothing. You would think for nothing. And here's the scroll that I came down with. We could be somewhere else, man. Brothers tired, you know what I mean? Brothers, man, 50s, man, you know what I mean? And could just be laying back, man, on a beach somewhere, just be saying, hey, man, I did my time, or I'm just going to live it up and party. We're too connected, whether we like each other or not, man. We're in that penitentiary and we know each other. Mm-hmm. And tell your kids the truth and tell your grandkids the truth, especially those of us that have been there a long time. Whether I liked you or not, we done passed bread at some point because there was them days where like you were the only one that had the soup, or I had it, or somebody had it. Right. You get what I'm saying? Or the riot had to go down and we had to stand together no matter what, or something was going on. Mm-hmm. We had to do it and we did it. And I'm saying right now we're in the situation, my dudes, that we got to do it. I'm not doing it. We got to do it. There's a big ass W in front. There ain't no I on this one. You know what I mean? We got to do it.
Right. Fact.
Absolutely.
Pleasure having you, Minister, man.
Pleasure and honor.
Man, you take us out. And I'm going to play a joint, man, on the way out, Minister. So when you go, I want you to listen to this to your herbal. I play this in Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
I want people to hear that, man. But listen, don't let you know, whatever we do, Minister, please tell them out here, man. Don't let Tashaki and Tashiki, whatever his name is, you know what I mean? All of these dudes, imitation of what you really live, make millions off your lives while they sit on a platform and talk about your lives and
Facts.
not living any of it and
Facts.
end up like Gunna. It's a dangerous game.
Facts. Thank you, man. Peace and blessings. And we're gonna do this again, man. You know, you have this platform, and we're gonna, you know, we're gonna utilize it. We're gonna support it, and we're gonna keep this movement, and we're gonna get together because, you know, we talking to a brother that already done it. Understand, this man put out 2 albums while he was in jail, so it's not a game, man. We about to make it happen for real. So I'm looking forward to that. D. Peace and blessings, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
peace,
he
man. Peace. Take us out of here, Mac. Man, love to everybody, man, everywhere.
Hey, man.
Just respect to everybody everywhere. You might not see me, but I'm gonna be with you.
Hey,
Go
man.
ahead,
Oh, man. All I got to say, man, is I'm alive and free, and together, man, we have nothing but great unity, man. That's it, man. Peace.
Peace.
That was God's give back. Peace. Man, I'm going to leave y'all with this right here. It's G Herbal, man. It's the streets, and we were talking about the streets all day, so let's see if we can give you guys an idea what this has been about. You know, it's time we talked. That was the show today. Bump That Radio. I am the bad boy. Good talk. This has been pleasant for me because you get an opportunity to come back and listen to it. All I'm saying is you're headed towards Christmas, but it's not really about putting up a tree and some packages under it. It's about putting a little closer package of us getting together and trying to put a bow tie on a word, us. That's all I'm saying. We could be street, we could be whatever we gonna be, but we better step it up.
Yes, sir.
I'm out.
Peace.
It's Friday. Enjoy your Friday. I know.
Peace.
I know. It's wet out there.